Hey, what's up soldiers? My name's GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. Today guys, we're going to be ranking all of the Easter eggs from worst to best in Treyarch Zombies history because we are 10 days away from Black Ops 4 and I freaking love Easter eggs the absolute most. So I thought it would be a cool video and you guys can kind of get my perspective on what I think about Easter eggs that we have seen in Zombies. So we're starting with like Ascension being the start point of Easter eggs, and we're going to be ranking from Ascension through Revelations, and this is like the main storyline Easter eggs. We're not going to include Flytrap and things like that because they're kind of just, it's kind of like a side Easter egg. It isn't really anything huge or anything like that, and hopefully you guys do agree with my list, but if you disagree, that's totally fine too. You can let me know what you guys think is the worst Easter egg and the best Easter egg down below in the comment section, and I'm sure we'll see some similarities with that. Now before we get into it, if you guys do enjoy, please drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I would really appreciate it, and without further ado, let's jump right into the list. Coming in at the number 14 spot for the worst Easter egg in Treyarch Zombies history is gonna go to Transit. Now if you can get past the fog, denizens, and lava, that's totally fine. Like, to be honest with you guys, I don't think they're that bad anymore. You can get pretty used to it and get over the fact that that kind of sucks, yeah, but it's not the end of the world. Now as far as like Easter egg steps actually go, I think that the Richthofen and Maxicide just have like steps that shouldn't even be there. Like when you have to get EMP grenades from the box and everyone has to throw them at green lamps, that just isn't a good Easter egg in my opinion. And I think that having to build like the jet gun on the Richthofen side is really dumb. It doesn't even make sense what you're shooting it at. You're like shooting it at the nav card table kind of, and it just doesn't really make that much sense. Now for the Maxicide, you have to shut off the power, so you basically have to do the entire Easter egg with no power, which can be a huge pain in the butt as well. So overall, I would just say that Transit deserves the number 14 spot. It's not necessarily a bad Easter egg because I like all of them, but as far as like ranking goes, I think it's definitely the bottom of the list, so it comes in at the number 14 spot. Coming in at the number 13 spot is going to be Ascension. Now, this is kind of like ranking a map from worst to best and then putting Knocked at the bottom of the list because it's the first map and it's kind of bare bones. And that kind of goes the same for the Ascension Easter egg. Now, the interesting thing about the Ascension Easter egg is no one actually knew that there was an Easter egg on the map because it was the first one when it came to Call of Duty Zombies. It was kind of discovered like by accident about a week after it actually came out, which is pretty cool to think about. And the fact that it didn't even have an achievement was so interesting for all of the fans of Zombies because no one really expected it. So it's definitely a decent Easter egg. Now although like you can do Ascension, the only reward that you get is a death machine, which isn't really that great. And back in the day in Black Ops 1, it wasn't really that good either, but it was still kind of cool being the birthplace of Easter eggs and all that sort of thing. So it comes in at the number 13 spot. Coming in at the number 12 spot is going to be on Die Rise. Now, yes, I have a speedrun record and I did get one, but at the same time, I think that Die Rise is just not that fun of an Easter egg overall. To speedrun it is completely different and besides the point, but I would just say that Die Rise is so basic. No matter which Easter egg you are doing, you basically build the Sliquifier, you have to build a Trample Steam, and you have to do like stand on a pad and make sure everyone's standing on it on the elevator, and you can use the keys to kind of manipulate the elevators so that they're all down at the same time and you can all stand on them. Then you have to do kind of trial and error to stand on the other pads that are in different locations, and then once you do that, then you are well on your way to completing the Easter egg. You have to, you know, build all the parts, you have to launch zombies at the spire. For the Maxicide, you have to launch the balls that you shoot with the Sliquifier. So it's definitely a really fun Easter egg, like both of them, but sometimes they're just not as enjoyable because people fall off maps when you're trying to do them, and it is a 4-player Easter egg, so it can get a little bit frustrating if someone that's playing is not as good as some of the other players. So Die Rise comes in at the number 12 spot. Coming in at the number 11 spot is going to be Revelations. Now, the reason I put this one so low on the list is because of the rock step. To be honest with you guys, I just think that the rock step has gotten so much hate across the community that it is not a good Easter egg at all whatsoever. Now, the first thing, shooting tombstones, is totally fine, and then having to find like the keeper protector triangle rock that's on one of the launch pads can be a little bit annoying, and you kind of just wait there for 2 minutes. So that kind of scares me when it comes to like Revelations, the Easter egg wise, because like I really hope the Easter eggs are much better in Black Ops 4, because we all ended on a really bad note when it comes to Black Ops 3. Now, throwing the actual summoning key at the different things I thought was a really nice touch, like the classic things from other zombies maps. That was a really cool step, and I really enjoyed that. But and like 2 boss fights was kind of cool as well, but I just don't think it's as good as some of the other maps, so it comes in at the number 11 spot. Coming in at the number 10 spot is going to be Zetsubou no Shima. Now, the reason I put this one so low on the list is because it's literally Plant Simulator, and you have to get 3 cogs, which are all pretty annoying, to be honest. Now, you do have to use a classic gobblegum anywhere but here in order to actually get the cog, which no one realized, and it was found by accident, which was kind of cool, I guess. But I just don't think that using gobblegum should need to be used like when you're doing Easter eggs. Now, it was kind of cool, and I kind of do like that, but at the same time, like overall, the Easter egg just not was the best that Treyarch has done. It was kind of mediocre when it comes to how you get the cogs, and like the quest of having to do everything with plants and waiting 3 rounds in order to plant everything and let it grow and all that stuff, and having to do the challenges was by far the worst part about Zetsubou in my opinion. So it comes in at the number 10 spot. Coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be Mob of the Dead. Now, the reason I put this one so low on the list is because of how basic the Easter egg actually is. All you have to do is ride the plane 3 times. You have to get the Blundergat using the skull Easter egg by throwing a tomahawk at all 5 of the blue skulls, which is fairly easy, and then you have to enter the numbers of all of the cell mates on Mob of the Dead, which is 101, 872, 386, and 481 in the bottom. And then you get to hear the best part of the Easter egg, in my opinion, which is like kind of the story of Alcatraz. And then you fly one last time, this time in Afterlife, and you have to kill the player. Now, overall, I thought the ending of this Easter egg is by far one of the best, because if Weasel kills the 3 other characters, the cycle breaks, and the cycle continues if the 3 characters kill the Weasel. The ending is really good, but overall, as far as like Easter eggs go and like step wise, it deserves the number 9 spot. Coming in at the number 8 spot is going to be Call of the Dead. Now, this is widely regarded as one of the like okay maps when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies. A lot of people want to see it remastered and all that stuff, and George Romero, rest in peace. But other than that, I think Call of the Dead is a really unique Easter egg, because you actually have to work as a team if you're playing as a team, which I really do like. Now, as far as like the steps go, the steps also are really interesting, and when the Black Ops 1 Easter eggs were being figured out, they were kind of like riddles. So you go to the place where all the characters are trapped in, and you knife the door, and then Richtofen basically tells you what he wants, and then you have to find it and figure out how to actually acquire it. So overall, like, it's a really fun Easter egg, and you can get the Wonder Waff at the end. Once you complete the Easter egg, every time you kill George, you get a Wonder Waff instead of the death machine, which is really cool. So overall, that's an awesome Easter egg, and that comes in at the number 8 spot. Coming in at the number 7 spot is going to be the Shadows of Evil Easter egg. Now, I really love this 4-player Easter egg because a lot of the steps are really fun to do, and personally, I love the fact that you actually have to upgrade the sword. That makes it a ton of fun, and everyone gets an upgraded sword to use. Now, as far as like defending the flag step, it's a fairly challenging step, and that's why I like it so much. And not only that, but then like once you trap the Shadow Man, which can be a little bit annoying if you don't have like Arnie's and things like that, or fear in headlights, then you have to also shock the 3 boxes, and one person has to shock the keepers in the middle, which is another amazing and really fun step. So I think for those reasons, Shadows of Evil is actually a really underrated map in my opinion. It comes in at the number 7 spot. Coming in at the number 6 spot is going to be ShangriLa. Now, overall, this Easter egg, in my opinion, has some of the best steps ever in a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg. All the steps on this map are fantastic and all really fun. You have to go into Eclipse mode to do the steps. Matching the symbols, which are Illuminati symbols, I think was one of the coolest steps in the Easter egg. Having to bring the napalm zombie through the tunnel to light the gases on fire, and the fact that you are literally going back in time each time to help Brock and Gary not die was such a really cool and unique thing. Using the spike Moors to block the holes, there was so many awesome things in this Easter egg, and I really enjoyed it. How you got the focusing stone and all that stuff. So it's a great Easter egg, and it comes in at the number 6 spot. Coming in at the number 5 spot, maybe a surprise to you, but it is the Buried Easter egg. Now, I personally think Buried is one of the most enjoyable Easter eggs when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies, because most of it's fairly easy, but the sharpshooter step is actually one of my favorite steps in all of Call of Duty Zombies. The reason I like this step so much is because it's actually challenging, and it also causes you to work as a team. Everyone has to cover a certain area, whether it's the witch's house, the saloon area, the courthouse area, or like the area where Leroy is, like that building. Now, overall, I just love everything about this Easter egg. The steps are really fun, using the paralyzer for some of the steps, and like it requires a lot of like puzzle type things, which I really enjoy when it comes to an Easter egg. So that's why Buried comes in at the number 5 spot. Coming in at the number 4 spot is going to be Moon. Now, although getting Excavator Pie and also having to get Gersh devices and QEDs and the wave gun, I think that overall, like, the steps are really fun to do, and they do kind of make sense. As far as like Richtofen switching to Samantha, that was a crazy Easter egg back in the day, and also blowing up Earth to set up everything that happened on transit and things like that. I just think it was a really cool idea for an Easter egg, and the steps made a lot of sense, especially at the end. So it was really cool to kind of see like what Richtofen's goal was, and also see what Maxis thought would be a good idea to kind of prevent that. So it definitely was a really cool Easter egg, and that comes in at the number 4 spot. Coming in at the number 3 spot is an Easter egg that you can't even complete anymore, and that is Gorod Krovi. Literally on PlayStation and Xbox, before you get the final achievement, you literally cannot complete it, which really does suck. But overall, as far as Easter eggs go and like the actual steps required, I think that Gorod Krovi is a really cool Easter egg and idea overall, because there's 6 different challenges that you have to complete as a team once you get all of the different trophies, which is really fun. And I think that it creates kind of a unique challenge, because you do have to work as a team, but you can also do it solo if you decide to, and it's just like a good overall Easter egg, and it shows off your skill. I would say Gorod is probably the most difficult Easter egg in Black Ops 3, so it's definitely a ton of fun, and it comes in at the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot is going to be Origins. Now, Origins is a really cool Easter egg overall, and I think that it is so awesome because it follows the Vorkuta steps, which is a mission from the Black Ops 1 campaign. So the steps are secure the keys, ascend from darkness, rain fire, unleash the horde, skewer the winged beast, wield the fist of iron, raise hell, and freedom. And I don't know how the hell I remember those, but I do, and it is so dang cool doing this Easter egg. Origins is by far one of the best. I think it will always be one of the best Easter eggs as well, and it comes in at the number 2 spot. And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot is going to be the Eisendrache Easter egg. Now, this Easter egg is so cool because a lot of the steps are really interesting and unique. And I love how it kind of ties to Moon as well, which is really awesome. You have Dr. Groff, you have to go back in time and see the code that he enters in order to get some of the fuses. You have to enter codes on the computers, which is really cool. You have to fill up each of the keepers as well, which is another really cool step. And then you have to actually go in the boss fight, which was like the first boss fight when it comes to an Easter egg, which was so unique and so different, and using the elemental bows along the way, and each of those having their own quest as well, kind of added to the Easter egg and made it a lot more fun. I think Eisendrache is such a special map, and it is by far my favorite Easter egg when it comes to it. That's one of the reasons why I speedran it a long time. Luckily enough, I still have the classics Easter egg record, but overall it's just such a good map, and for me it comes in at the #1 spot. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and once again, tell me your least favorite Easter egg and your favorite Easter egg down below in the comment section. My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Not Fortnite.